we're going to bring in our friend Cliff Maloney, the Cliff Maloney of the renowned the call. It was the call, Cliff, and you on election night, you were the one as Charlie sat in that chair. When we announced that Trump was going to be the next president of the United States, it was you who were leading us, and as we were all in shocked, stunned silence. So, welcome back. I think the last time you were here was actually a person, so it's nice to see you back in your spot on the Zoom.
I'm back here. I'm here at headquarters in Harrisburg, PA, and I was in this room when we called it in Pennsylvania. And look, I got to tell you guys, when Charlie asked me to do the show, I never realized at that moment. Obviously, not just calling you, but Erica coming in, embracing Charlie. I get emotional thinking about it, but it was just, the video that everybody watched hundreds of millions of times. And I'm honored to keep fighting. So glad to be with you guys. And didn't know that one of my favorite congressmen, Andy Biggs, would be on. Better be the next governor. We're going to do everything we can to get that guy elected. I'm here to help.
That's exactly right. Well, and this is why it all plays very well together here. So, Cliff, you are maybe I'll let you do it, but you've got news in New Jersey, but I love it because it ties into all the things we've done in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, and in Arizona. So, what's the news in New Jersey, Cliff? The floor is yours.
Yeah, so happy to announce that we are taking the PA Chase on the road. We have launched the New Jersey Chase, going all in on Jack Ciattarelli and getting him elected. And look, I'm going to be honest with folks. For a lot of months, I hesitated on going public with this, right? My brand is that we are the Pennsylvania, I would say America First, ground game, right? We are the PA Chase here at Citizens Alliance. But what happened, not just Charlie getting murdered, but over the last couple months, we've kind of realized like this tactic that Turning Point and Citizens Alliance has really focused on, which is ground game, actually going out, harvesting and chasing where you can only chase, harvesting where it's legal. And so we're going all in on New Jersey. We've committed to knock 500,000 doors through the New Jersey Chase program. If people want to get involved at njchase.org, they can. But we've got tons of people on the ground. We've got 7 to 10 Airbnbs, depending on which week it is. We're knocked close to 300,000 doors so far. I love how the numbers look, but this is about continuing the work as Charlie would want us to do. And that's what the New Jersey Chase is all about.
I love it. So, Andy, I think you would be good to chime in here. How important is it to do the door knocking, to do the person to person chasing these low prop voters, especially when you have close states? And we see that Cliff, you can give us an update on the polling in just a second, but this is a close race. And for the first time, we have a real chance of taking power in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, the personal contact you get when you're at the door is the most influential contact you can have in campaigning. It really is. I mean, you can do TV ads and everything. Most influential is one-on-one contact. And we saw what it did in Arizona. I mean, Turning Point turned out 300,000 plus low propensity voters
and new voters. So
new voters.
Yeah, 315,000 low prop and new voters.
Yeah, and that turned the election. I mean, Trump won this state by 160,000 votes, roughly 5%, the biggest margin in a battleground state. That was because of that door-to-door contact, that encouragement to get out new voters and low propensity voters. That's what's going to do it again this time, but it's going to do it in New Jersey. It sounds like first, and I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake, I don't know if you were going to chime in. No.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. So give us give us the timeline, Cliff. Give us where's the polling at, and why do you like this? Why is it worth putting these kind of resources in? Because we get requests to do this in all 50 states. Just to be clear, people come to us. Can we use your app? Can you guys send out resources to do this? And we want to do it. Obviously, we would love to do that because I think there's gains that could be made at the local level. There could be gains at the statewide level. It's not just all about who's the president of the United States, right? And we want senators, congressmen. We want school board members to be conservative. We want them to be on board. But the issue is that we have limited resources, right? We have limited bodies. We have to pick our battles and be very strategic, which is why we picked, Wisconsin, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada in the last one, because those are races that we could invest these types of resources and actually make a manageable, practical, and determinative difference in these states. So why New Jersey, Cliff?
Well, first off, I can wear my Eagles hat in half the state, which is pretty nice. For a guy that wants to pander and not have to play the political game when it comes to sports. No, but seriously, look, I mean, the polls right now, poll came out just recently, 43-43. It's a dead heat. What really excites me is, and I'm preaching to the choir here, because not only you guys, but everybody that listens to Charlie's show, knows the power of really making sure we compete when it comes to vote by mail. If you compare New Jersey and Pennsylvania, understand this. In Pennsylvania, we don't have early voting. We have two ways to vote, either by mail or on election day. In New Jersey, they've got over a week of early voting, and Republicans compete and do very well in early voting. So when we're at the doors, which we're at now, we're not only pushing vote by mail to low props, but if they have some objection to vote by mail, guess what? You can plan to vote in the week leading up to the election. And so it gives you an alternative that we don't have in Pennsylvania. And when you run the numbers, Andrew, if we compete in vote by mail and we match the type of turnout that Jack Ciattarelli had 4 years ago. Remember, Jack was the nominee in 21. So it's not a rematch because Murphy is no longer capable, term limited out. But Mikey Sherrill is running against Jack Ciattarelli. Jack has name ID. And 4 years ago, he only lost by roughly 3 points. And so you're talking about a state where they didn't have much of a door-to-door effort. They weren't really targeting the vote by mail. That's not a shot at Jack at all. Right? A lot of us weren't doing that in 2020 and 2021 because, it wasn't something that Trump was pushing. And I was one of those people, vote on election day. But since we've adapted, we see New Jersey as a huge opportunity. It's why we're going all in. I think knocking these 500,000 doors and all the other groups that are helping register, people are coalescing. I think this is one to focus on. That's why we decided to go in and try to win.
Just to add to that, why it's a fun idea, we have a headline from Axios. This is just the other day. Democrats are fretting about New Jersey governor's race. That's one of the best reasons to do it. If they're actually panicking and laying the groundwork in advance for, who they should blame for this. And it says here that there is private polling that has shown the race within about 3 points. And this is according to Democrats who saw the results. So Democrats have internal polls that are telling them this is very close. This could go very badly.
Question to you, Andy. When you see a Democrat poll that's like that, that's within 3 points, how do you interpret that? Being on the if you're the campaign or you're the candidate and you say, well, the Democrats up by 3. You say that that's probably accurate? You say it's actually closer than that?
I typically say it's probably dead heat because it's tradition for them to skew sample selections and how they frame the question. If you do that, you have a biased poll. And getting back to the point on turnout and doing the knocking of the doors, if I can, just real quick, the Democrats have done this for many, many years. And we're now at their game. And when we're at their game, because our message is better, because when we are actually out there not harvesting, but we're chasing and doing that better, we're going to win. Because they've been doing it, but they have a crappy message. If you do it when you have a good message, you're going to win. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it because, if you're part of a Democrat campaign, you don't want to release an internal poll that shows you down, right? That could demoralize the troops. So, I tend to agree with you that it's probably even, right? This is probably a dead heat. And there's little pieces of information that we can draw from. Throw up 299. This is out of Nevada. Eric Daugherty from Twitter posted this, but now there's been a flip in Nevada, which bodes well because we've been seeing these registration trends across the country from Pennsylvania, Cliff, in Arizona, certainly. Nevada now has flipped to more registered Republicans, just barely, but that was a gain of 6,000 in the month of September, net gain of 6,000. So now Republicans have more voter registrations in the state of Nevada. So we're seeing this trend nationwide, and that's starting to make states like New Jersey in play. Cliff, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I think you're right. And look, I will tell you this. New Jersey is a much, much tougher battle than Pennsylvania was in 2024. Whether you look at the registration numbers, whether you look at comparing 2020 to 2024, there are plenty of ways to look at it. But I think the momentum is on our side. And look, I said this from the start. I think Jack is a great candidate. If you spend time with him, he's very personable. I've done a couple events and he knows how to work the room. He connects. He's authentic. And so I think there's a lot of hope here for Jack. But you also have to count on the Democrats exposing themselves. And that's what's happening in New Jersey. Mikey Sherrill, she has had just flaw after flaw, misstep after misstep. And I just think that it's kind of culminating at the right time. And sometimes those things have to happen. I mean, even for us to win the swing states we did in 2024, you have to have certain things happen that are outliers.
Well, and
right? Donald Trump getting shot in the ear, I'm not rooting for that, but it's at a certain point, like you have little pieces of things that fall in place, and that's how you can kind of build momentum. And I'm seeing it on the ground in Jersey.
That's great. And I do think some of these national trends and these national stories are playing into it as well. You can't discount the Charlie Kirk effect. That's one. But secondly, you have this Jay Jones story in Virginia that is got to be putting a pall over a lot of the Democrat races, especially across that eastern seaboard. You got to think that that's having an impact. And obviously, we're talking about the story where he's leaking, or these text chains are showing that he wanted political violence, or at least was fantasizing about it, or fetishizing, or at the most charitable, like joking about it. It's tough to say exactly what that is. Cliff, 10 seconds. Where can people get involved, real quick?
Sure. On X at Maloney. Appreciate you guys. Andy, great seeing you. Really appreciate it, Blake, Andrew. You guys are the best.
Awesome. Thanks, Cliff. We'll have you on again soon, my friend, to give us more updates on that race.